Hello, my name is Sofia and welcome to my channel. I am a secondary school science teacher based in London in the UK, and this space is a place where we can offer lots of advice and information to anyone that is interested in teaching and education, especially new teachers or teachers who have been in the profession for a long time, or also people who are looking to become teachers. So if you're new here, then welcome. It's really great to see you, and if you're coming back, thank you so much for returning. It's truly appreciated and I'm very grateful for your support. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, switch on your notifications so that you don't miss a video, and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy the content, just to make sure that other people can reach it too. Okay, so this week I have another bonus video for you. We're going to be talking a little bit about how to make midterm plans or medium-term plans. If you're not familiar with this concept, I don't know if it's specific to the UK only and if anyone in America has something like this, but it essentially just means where you plan a sequence of lessons for each one of the classes that you will be teaching. And they are particularly common to do for a half term, so a period of 5, 6, 7 weeks, but you can also do them for a full term, so you would be doing 3 of those a year. And now, one of the main reasons why it's important to get organised in terms of getting them done ahead of time is to make sure that you're able to fit all of the lessons that you want to teach that class organised so that you know that you'll be able to fit it all in. And particularly if you do share a class with another teacher, you know exactly what each one of you is going to be teaching. Okay, so today I am going to be sharing with you my way of writing midterm plans. I'm going to share with you 3 specific classes, and I will show you how I get that done on Google Drive so that I can easily tweak anything that I need to tweak throughout the next 6 weeks. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is to go to Google Drive. And you can then create a new Google Excel spreadsheet. Now, the way that this is really useful is that you can use this to categorize all of your different classes by having numerous sheets at the bottom. So I will show you, for example, if I wanted to create a separate sheet for each class, I would just press this plus button and then go ahead and rename that for a specific class that I will be teaching. So for example, today I'm going to show you 3 different classes just to give you a little bit of a range in how I would prepare the different midterm plans for them, which in my case runs from September to October, mid-October, so it'll be 6.5 weeks. So once you've got that prepared, I'm just going to show you here an example of how I've already done this. So these are the classes I will be teaching this year. The way that I go about doing this is I will have an individual spreadsheet for each class. I will annotate from the curriculum plan, so that can be decided with your subject team, what topics are going to be covered in that specific half term. So I will go ahead and look at that information in whatever way that is stored. So for example, in my school, that is already stored in a different spreadsheet. So I will just consult that and then transfer that information onto this page for this class. So here I know that I will be sharing the class with a different member of staff, and I will be teaching them 4 lessons, and that other member of staff will also be teaching the class 4 lessons. Now, the reason why that member of staff was bolded is just that this was an easy way for me to know that this person is the lead teacher of the class, so they are ultimately responsible for the progress of the class and for making sure that everything is covered in the time that we have. So I've liaised with that member of staff, and we've decided that the split of the topics will be this way. So there are 2 topics to do of Year 8, so this is a Year 8 class because it's 8 A3. So there's topic C and topic A, and then they also have a little bit of topic 7 still to cover, so we have decided to split that topic. So I will be taking lessons 1 to 6 of topic 7E,
and I will be taking the entire topic of 8C. So what I'll go ahead and do now is I will create a format. So this is a template format that I've created before, and then I'll just go ahead and tweak that. So if I were to be doing this fresh, I would copy paste that and input that into my new spreadsheet and then edit accordingly. Now you can play around with whatever format that you want. This has definitely changed over time. This is the layout that I find the most useful. So what I will do is I will put the week that we have. So in my school we have a 2-week timetable. We have a week A and a week B. So I will go ahead and do that. I will then add the day of the week that I have those lessons with that class. This is particularly useful if there is a specific staff notice that there will be no school on that day, or the class will be on a school trip. I can go ahead and make any amendments that I need to make to the schedule of the lessons. I also find it particularly useful for me to add the dates. So I will just go ahead and input the dates and then quickly use my Google Calendar to tweak those dates. Again, I find that super easy. If I'm working on a Wednesday, I can quickly see that I need to prep a lesson for Friday for this class. And now the most important part is to create this schedule. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm a science teacher, so if you teach science, this can be really relevant for you, but if you don't, I hope that you do find some use in this. So obviously I've mentioned before that I've got to teach this class topic 8C and the beginning of 7E, so I will go ahead and I'll look at the scheme of work. So the way that we have it is that we've got our schemes of work laid out in folders. I will go ahead and look at 7E. I'll see the titles of lessons 1 to 6. Those are the titles of the lessons that I need to make sure that I teach. And then I'll go ahead to 8C and I'll see the lessons that I've got to teach them as well. Now, one of the key important bits of information is, are there any deadlines in terms of data for us to be able to check the progress of the class? So do they have to do any tests, any assessments, any quizzes, any exams? And for this class, looking at the curriculum plan, they have to do a linear assessment for these topics, 8C and 8A, and they also have to do some questions and topics from last year. So what I've decided with the person I'm sharing the class with is that that person will do the linear assessment and I will do a review lesson. So going through lessons 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, it's very clear that I've not been able to fit in that 6 lessons. So I've gone ahead and I've combined 2 topics in one so that I could fit that content in. And then for lessons for the topic 8C, if I go here and I have a quick look at how many lessons they are suggesting, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 content lessons, a review lesson, and then I've got some space for a test. So I need 9 lessons, but I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've only have 8 lessons if I want to do a review lesson. So I've gone ahead and I looked at the textbook, so I can access the textbook this way. And by looking at the textbook, I can quickly use the contents page of the Year 8 book, and I can have a quick look also to see, right, how much information is there for this specific class. They are a lower set, so they're going to need a little bit more time on specific things. So I've gone ahead and prioritized teaching specific lessons. And then this is where I will use the independent study or the homework study column to then perhaps set them something that we were not able to do in the lesson, so that I can make sure that the class is taught everything that they need to be taught. So that is an example of how I will do a midterm plan, sharing a class, and this is for a Key Stage 3 or for a middle school, if you're in America, sequence of lessons. Now let me just show you a different example. So another class that I wanted to show you was a Year 10 class, and that differs because if we have a look at how I might share a class with 3 members of staff, that can be quite time consuming in terms of understanding who is going to teach what topic. So because in science at GCSE level, so in high school, if you're in America as well, we divide the sciences by 3, so we teach physics, chemistry and biology. I will go ahead and decide with those teachers who is teaching what science, and in this case I will be teaching chemistry. So I've gone ahead and looked at the curriculum plan in the same way that I did for Year 8. I looked at which topics I need to teach. I then looked at the sequence of lessons that I have. So if I go to chemistry and I go to the topic I need, I can see that I only have 3 lessons for topic 3. And then for topic 4, I also only have 3 lessons. Now, this is where it differs quite significantly from a Year 8 class, where here I have a much greater number of lessons to cover the content that I have to do. Now, because this is a lower set class, they need a slower pace. So what I've decided is for each lesson, for each topic, I'm going to double up on the time I'm spending on it. So that would have been 1 lesson, 2, 3. And then that is that topic 3 covered. And I've also allowed us to spend some time on a review lesson. Now, one of the differences here as well is you can see that I am teaching this class a double lesson. And if you know kids, they will lose their focus. So I've definitely taken that into consideration when planning the sequence of lessons. Now, something additional that I've included for this class is because I'm a science teacher, I need to do specific practicals. We have to order that equipment. So I've made a note on my midterm plan as to when I'm doing that practical. So it's very clear here that I need to do an order of the practical equipment. And you can also see here that I've included a homework schedule and a marking schedule for the class. The reason why I've done this for this specific class is because there are no data deadlines. So I run the risk of not giving any feedback to the class and also not getting the class to take any ownership of their learning just because there is no exam or no test. So what I've gone ahead and done is decided that they will do a multiple choice question on Google Classroom using a document. I will give them a specific worksheet. So I've numbered the worksheets that I will be giving them. Here I'm going to do a little bit of flipped learning, and then I'll repeat that, and I've included some space to include a tailored homework based on how they're doing, because I've decided to give them the same multiple choice questions. A quiz that I did in the first week, I'm going to be doing that in week number 5 to see if there's any progress. And you can see that here in the marking column where I've decided that this multiple choice question quiz will be self-assessed, so that's what SA stands for. They are going to do a little bit of peer assessment the following week. They're going to come back to doing some more self-assessment, more self-assessment, more self-assessment. So this shows me very clearly that I will not need to plan in any time to mark any of the work of the students, but what I will do is randomly pick a certain number of books or quickly check on Google Classroom what the type of work that the students have done, how it's looking, and that can hopefully inform my planning of the next few lessons. So that's what I've done here, and this is set in stone now, so I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't need to look at this ever again, and it just saves my planning time quite substantially. Now, I just wanted to show you another example as well of a class where I have limited number of lessons. So this is a Year 11 class, they're an exam class, so they will be finishing school at the end of the year. And you can see here how it's very different. So I have numerous data deadlines with this class, and also I have a topic that has a substantial number of lessons. So to give you an idea, if I go to biology, the scheme of work, and I have a quick look at how many lessons I have, this is a triple biology class, so they have an additional number of lessons to do than other classes. So I have, in total here, I have about 13 lessons. Now, one of the things as well is when there is a core practical lesson, I need to double up the time for that lesson, so it often includes a lesson to do it and then another lesson to review it. So I'm looking at about 14 lessons. So if I have a quick look here at how many lessons I have 14 available lessons to teach them. However, I do have an assessment to do with them, and I also have to review that assessment with them. So I'm short here about 2 lessons. So what you can see here is that I have combined 2 lessons in one. So for this particular topic, instead of just doing that lesson, I'm also including that lesson. The reason why I've done that on that particular day is because it's a lesson on a Thursday, and according to my timetable on a Thursday, I will be seeing them at the end of the day, so I will have some time to run over if I do need to. So on that note, as well, as this is the first time that I'm showing you this, I will create a timetable sheet as well, where I can just see everything at a quick glance, should I need to confirm when I'm seeing that class, and I've color coded it as well. And I will also print this in colour and keep it on my desk so I can quickly access it should I need to. So you can quickly see here that I've given them some time to get adjusted to school and to lessons again, and then I'm doing the assessment, and I'm only reviewing the assessment at the end of the term. So you can see here that I have 1, 2, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks where I will be marking those papers. So I've allowed myself enough time to be able to give them the papers back after I've marked them in depth. It also shows me that I have the data deadline opening on the 30th of September and closing on the 7th, so I will need to make sure that they are uploaded by this week. So I need to finish marking it here. So I will often put maybe something like this, due, and I can then put a red colour that I need to make sure that my marking is due then. So what this allows me to do, other than a paper planner, is I can quickly tweak things. If I've realised that the class is not in on this day, they have a trip, I can quickly rearrange that lesson and see how I'm going to fit things in without having to Tipp-Ex or cross anything out in my physical planner. And I find this much easier to manipulate, and then to also copy paste and share this with any teachers that I do need to do that with. So all in all, I can just quickly show you here that I have all of my classes at the bottom. I have labelled this as half term 1, so then when you go to your Google Drive you'll see all of those documents, and you can start preparing half term 2 as well. And once you've done this the first time round, and if your timetable doesn't change, the only thing that you're tweaking is the date, and then you are tweaking the topic and looking at planning your independent study and your marking.
And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have found it very useful, particularly the marking and the homework schedule that I've managed to include in my midterm plans in addition to the sequence of lessons. I think it's such a useful tip when you're trying to manage your workload. So let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts, and if you have any other ways that you write your midterm plans, as I'd love to know them. Thank you so much for watching, and that's everything that I have for you this week. Have a joyous day, and I will catch you soon. Bye!